What's up, everyone? Thralls here once again. I'm Necrotic.
I'm Jammin.
And we have yet another album review for you, and one that I was anticipating because I've liked everything I've heard from this band, and I definitely expected that trend to continue. We are going to go over the latest offering from Innumerable Forms, Pain Effulgence. This also comes out on the 22nd of August on Profound Lore Records. This band formed in 2007 in Boston, Massachusetts. This is their third full-length overall. I have been a fan since their debut, Punishment in Flesh. I really enjoyed Philosophical Collapse as well.
Me too.
I'm not sure if I like that one better than the debut. If anything, I would say they're on equal ground. But this band is just absolutely disgusting death doom. Like, just squash the joy out of your fucking body, Death Doom. Features current and former members of bands like Genocide Pact, Gehenna, Mammoth Grinder, and Dream Unending. This initially was a one-man project by Justin DeTore. I think that's how you say his last name, maybe. Either way, he was in charge of all this, but he is kind of grown out, and everyone else has occupied other instruments, and he is just on guitar and vocals now. And when he's not in this band, he is doing drums and harsh vocals and Dream Unending, which is pretty cool.
I got into this band with Philosophical Collapse, which I thought was a pretty banging ass record. I actually have never heard the first one, but I need to go back and I need to go back and do so. But yeah, this is filthy, absolutely gross, disgusting death doom, and this is what I like about death doom too. Like, this album is so very well done. Plus, I like all the bands that the current members are now in. Like, nothing against a one-man band, but like, I legit like every band that the current members are in, so I have no problems with that either.
I think he's rounded out this lineup pretty well, and honestly, there's, some stuff in here that I think has gotten better, and that might be due to the input of other members. One thing that was awesome right from the rip, and it's been awesome with this band for a while, because I believe Arthur Risk has done all of their albums, including this one. The production is marvelous. The guitars are thick, murky. They have so much just grimy fucking weight to them. And the drums sound absolutely immaculate on here. I mean, it's Arthur Risk. We know what he can do. And, well, he did it again.
And the gritty lead tone, too. Like, we're going to talk about the leads here, but the lead tone especially cuts right through everything, and where it sits is just almost perfection.
And the tone of it, too. Yep. Very, 90s death metal lead tone. But, I mean, this whole album, honestly, it kind of reminded me of the first time I ever listened to Incantation. Namely, Onward to Golgotha. It has that giant cavernous appeal. Justin's vocals, they have that just Onward to Golgotha delivery where you get that perfect level of overlap with the reverb. It's cavernous, it's dense, and it kind of does a lot of the token incantation dynamics where you get the blast beats and apocalyptic tremolos, and then that moves into slow, lumbering single chords. Occasionally they're harmonized. They have a just extra dreary, just depressed as hell lead melody on top, but it feels dark and sinister. It's a good balance of melancholia and just flat out just oppression on here.
And sometimes those riffs are bendy. Most of the times they're nasty. I spent a majority of this record with a scowl on my face or sour lemons. It never lets up. And there's no real part in here that lets up. Albeit this is a lot more melodic than I think I was initially prepared for it to be. I know that these guys have always incorporated some melody in here, but it's amazing how catchy this is.
Yeah, the title track on here honestly might be one of the most melodic songs I think they've done. Albeit nothing pleasant about the melody. It is morose, it's dark, there's nothing skipping through a field and all that shit. No, you don't skip. You fall into a pit of misery and die in there with all the other fucking corpses.
And albeit I can make easily a lot of comparisons to Incantation or Fossilization, another thing I saw on here that I liked was Crowbar. There's a lot of sludgy, swampy harmonies going on, especially in the song Dissonant Drift. That, to me, says a lot like Oddfellows Rest or Sonic Excess in its purest form. A lot of that.
Well, the only thing that's different there is the guitar tone. This has that swampy death doom sound, think Hooded Menace or Mortiferum, Father Befouled, stuff like that. It doesn't have that crispness, that kind of big chunk that Crowbar has, but the melodies are very similar, especially when they're harmonized. And that goes even into some of the faster parts where it's a little bit more mid-tempo, and of course down to the slower parts. There are woeful. They're miserable. The only thing Dissonant Drift is missing, well, it might be a little bit of dissonance, because honestly, it was one of the least dissonant songs. It was still great, but it's just missing, Kurt's gravelly croon, like just a spot of that, like, yep, no, that kind of bats for the fucking cycle of misery there.
And although, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of dissonance, there's not an overwhelming amount of it in here. I mean, yes, there is even a little bit in Dissonant Drift. There's a big dissonant chug section that comes with the speed up, and like it's Sour Lemons, and I love big dissonant chugs, just fucking love them. And then there's a big dissonant passage in Overwhelming Subjugation, but beyond that, there's not a whole lot outside of the tremolos, and it's mostly because these are packed full of big melodic riffs that are more akin to bands like Crypt Sermon or Candlemass.
Overwhelming Subjugation in particular, I find that song just oddly catchy. Like, it's a little bit more melancholic, like it feels more sad and dreary than, oppressive and dark, but it has like, a very tuneful little like passage to it with that little dissonant melody that, it's just kind of oddly hooky. Because if you compare it like that to like a good chunk of this, like again, it's a lot of like apocalyptic tremolos, like heavy, deep tremolos, like Morbid Angel and shit like that. Resentiment in particular has like just some absolutely just gross tremolos on it. And big single chord syncopated Death Doom breakdowns. Like the power of one chord on here is absolutely immense with this giant size, just gross tone. But honestly, that's the kind of thing that I really like in Death Doom. Like, this is kind of how I like my Death Doom. I want the death parts to be extraordinarily heavy, like brutal, ugly death metal. And then the Doom parts to almost feel like I'm trying to, like, tread cement or something like that.
Like crawl on my hands and knees uphill.
Up a mountain.
Yep.
Covered in fucking, like, olive oil, so it's extra hard to fucking get a grip or something like that. That's a lot of olive oil.
And it's slow enough to where it's almost Funeral Doom. Like, almost. Like, Funeral Doom kind of gets me, because I need you to move a little bit quicker than that. And while these guys slow down a bunch, they never quite get to, like, a snail covered in quicksand and molasses, also crawling up a hill.
I mean, Indignation gets pretty close. Indignation.
It does. It's I mean, you're right there.
Dude, it slows down to like a beat a month. But, I mean, it's monolithic, though. Like, with each beat, because, I mean, of course, every beat is syncopated, and you just like a big crash. It fills out all this without really needing anything extra to kind of convey it. I mean, of course, you'll have, like, the vocalist doing, like, single words in there and letting it ring out, but it conveys so much with something so fucking simple. And then there's the lead work that we alluded to. The lead work on here is the best lead work I've heard in this band. It's more than just, like, your screaming dive bombs that sound like fucking ghosts wailing, or just, like, moaning bends and such. There's a lot of intricate melodic lead work on here.
And there are those moments definitely where they will use dive bombs and like wailing, screeching for atmosphere. But like when it gets down to a majority of the leads, they're tuneful. The phrasing is on point. They're bluesy. You get some points where it's almost thrashy, which is a cool like contrast.
Oh yeah. Like the leads, I mean, often are moving a hell of a lot faster than the songs themselves. But again, like I kind of like this additional, like touch of melody on here. Then I like what they do with like drawing out transitions on here. Like, you get like the biggest, slowest dynamic transitions where it's, they'll isolate the riff. Then you'll get the floor tom accents in there. And then you might get that riff harmonized. Or, Justin will belch into the darkness. And it kind of like slowly moves along the whole song, which the songs aren't super long. Like overall, like they're mostly in the range of like, the 5 to 6 minute range. Austerity and Attrition is a little bit longer. It's about like the 7 minute mark, but it just knows how to draw out the misery to the right length where it doesn't feel like, it's hanging out too long. And a lot of that is in like these just, again, big, bendy, almost like elastic riffs on here where it just feels like they're being stretched out across eternity like a fucking, I don't know, funeral cloth. Like a really big one. Like we're covering up a lot of corpses here.
And with as short as some of these songs are, they pack a lot of dynamic in them. Like there's a lot of changes going on in a lot of these, to where it's not just a blast beat and then a Death Doom breakdown. Like there's a lot going on. You get a couple of off time moments. You get a couple of like D beat pockets that go into the speed up, big builds. But like for a 3.5 minute long Death Doom song, you figure it would be pretty cut and dry, and it's not.
This whole album, I want to say, runs about 37, 38 minutes. And yeah, I honestly, it doesn't overstay its welcome, but you still have like all the qualities you kind of look for in Death Doom, because I mean, you want the songs to feel kind of drawn out. You want them to feel almost like darkly hypnotic at points, because I mean the drone is a big part of it, and this album fucking drones.
Yes, it does.
It has that good kind of like monotony on it, like, you know, when this album decides to like slow down and get doomy, like it's fucking serious about it. Like it moves about the speed of a fucking glacier racing another glacier. In terms of any negatives on here, I mean, honestly, I can't really think of any. Like, I do think Overwhelming Subjugation is maybe a tad short, especially because it really comes across as like a more melodic, kind of like different sounding song. I kind of wanted to hear that sound expanded on just a little bit more, but that's kind of it. The production's on point. I mean, dude, this captures everything that I love about, like, you know, Death Doom and shit, like you know, Hooded Menace and Incantation and all that. The production is, I mean, it's Arthur Risk. It sounds fucking great. Yeah, I really can't pick this apart much outside of maybe like saying, I don't know if it's as good as the other two, but it might be. I don't know. They're all kind of like on equal footing. Like this one might have like a little bit of a lead just because of the extra awesome leads on here. Like that's the thing that changed. There hasn't been a lot of changes so far in this band, but it does feel like it is still moving forward.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of complaints either, to be honest. I agree that Overwhelming Subjugation was a little short, and I think that the title track, at least towards the end of it, kind of flows odd. But I don't know, I may need to go back and listen to it again. I didn't think all the pieces fit towards the end of the title track. But, I mean, overall, I'll agree it sounds great, dude. The lead work rules. I mean, I don't really have any problems with it. It sounds like Death Doom that I love. So, overall, I'm going to go ahead and give this record a solid 4 stars. Far more tuneful than I expected, too, and the lead work was really fucking awesome. It's large and in charge. It's super cavernous. I am such a sucker for low, down-tuned, gross tremolos, and this record is packed full of that. The riffs are all entertaining, the songs don't run into each other, and Justin overall sounds like an ogre that lives in a cave. Very fitting for this kind of music, so yeah. Again, if you're a fan of bands like Incantation, Fossilization, if you're a big fan of bands like Incantation, Fossilization, Crowbar, a little bit of Crypt Sermon, then you're probably really going to dig this. I'd recommend giving it a spin.
Yeah, I am also at a 4 here. This is just kind of everything I love about Death Doom. Like, you know, the formula here works. Again, when it's on the death metal side, it is just fucking disgustingly heavy and brutal and riffy. And when it goes full bore doom, it moves at the pace of a fucking turtle on fucking Quaaludes. Yeah, no, that's exactly kind of what I want. The riffs are excellent. The production here is great. Love the lead work. The lead work is like kind of like the cherry on top that kind of really makes this pop, and you know, might make this their strongest album. Again, I don't know. This band has been really consistent over the course of 3 albums here, so that really isn't a dig against any of their albums. They're all fucking good. Yeah, this is just absolutely sick. And if you're a fan, again, of Incantation, Hooded Menace, Mortiferum, I'd even say like Mother of Graves at certain points where it's a little bit more melodic and melancholic, that kind of fits. Check this album out, and if you like it, go ahead and check out their other 2, because you're pretty much going to like those too, I'm pretty sure. So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They were only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we will eventually get back to, because we are long overdue for 1 or 2 or like 3 of them by now.
Or a week of them.
A week-long marathon of us sitting in front of our computers going, so hi. How's it going?
I farted.
You guys like metal? That's cool. Anyway, memberships are the main way to support the channel. And if you'd like to join up, there's a join button down there for you to move very, very, very slowly towards. Don't get too fast there. Just move slowly. And make sure you're listening to this album, too, because you can keep pace with it.
Yes, and that'll be something fun you can do. If you decide not to hit that join button, it's cool. We do non-members only live streams, which we will also get back to here pretty quickly. We have discography rankings. I promise you guys At the Gates is coming. I promise. I promise. The notes are done. We're ready to rock and roll. We just need fucked up things to stop happening to the members of Thralls of Metal. Anyway, beyond that, we have Nick's never-ending collection updates. States of Metal. Is it metal? Is it not metal? All sorts of different segments. We have the Thralls of Metal greatest hits that go in tandem with the discography rankings. Just a ton of metal shit all the time. That's what we do. We do it for you guys because we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you guys absolutely rule. Tons of content coming in the future. So one more big thank you because you guys rule, and we will catch you later.